We're on.
Dzień dobry Państwu. I am Ava M. Neturowicz, your co-host for the Polish Americans for Trump 2020 show, and I welcome you from the heartland of America, Chicago, Illinois, from the fields of Wisconsin, where I am, and the Sunshine State of Florida, to this very special program sponsored by WPNA Radio 1490, the Polish National Alliance Radio. Our program is being picked up by Polish radio stations throughout the United States and is live streamed on the internet. It is our intention to reach the ears of over 10 million Polish Americans in the United States. We now have a new YouTube channel where you can view our entire broadcast. Please visit YouTube under the heading Polish Americans for Trump 2020 show. I would now like to introduce you to my co-host, Dr. Michelle S. Pawlowski.
Jane Dublin, Ava. You know, you keep getting more beautiful every day. You are so gorgeous as usual. What do you think about the election on Tuesday, Ava?
Well, Michelle, we suspected this was going to happen. We knew the margins were going to be razor thin. We heard that from our most prominent guests, Congressman Glenn Grothman, Senator Ron Johnson, and former Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker. They all said the same thing. We knew the Democrats were going to do something.
Yes, you're right, Ava. And Ava, thanks to you, you were able to secure those wonderful interviews for our audience. You know, that's an accomplishment. And we know that if you were not politically involved, that's something that would not have happened. So we want to thank you so very much for working so hard to get those interviews with those wonderful people from the state of Wisconsin we are looking at very, very closely. But Ava, the good
Yes.
thing now is that President Trump is still fighting for us.
Michelle, he's a fighter. That's why we love President Trump. He's a fighter. He's going to fight to the very end. So let us share with our audience what specifically the Trump campaign is doing since the voting concluded. And these statistics that we are going to give you are for this morning only because they are changing moment to moment. But as of now, this is the update. The campaign of President Trump is stating that President Trump will be declared the winner of the election as soon as Friday. Why do they think that? Well, the campaign is confident that if all the legally cast ballots are counted, President Donald Trump will be reelected. We are confident that the president will win states that have not yet been decided. Democrats, however, are pushing to count late ballots because they're worried about those state margins. But the campaign legal team is fighting to ensure that all legal ballots and only legal ballots are counted.
Yes, Ava, you are so correct. Now, let me specifically address what's going on in the state of Pennsylvania. As of last night, the Trump campaign declared victory in Pennsylvania. And why? Well, we have a clear pathway to win the state of Pennsylvania. The current margin in Pennsylvania is approximately 450,000 votes for President Trump as of this morning's broadcast. From the campaign's detailed modeling, what the campaign does is that they look at prior votes from other elections, and they look at the population and do some post polling as people leave the ballot box. From the campaign's detailed modeling, we know that the Democrats cannot make up the margin that
That's right.
President Trump currently has in the state of Pennsylvania. There are over 1 million outstanding votes in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
For Joe Biden to win in the state of Pennsylvania, he would need to win 78% of all remaining votes. That is
Very good.
going to happen. Right. Now, there are 170,000 votes out in Philadelphia County and 61,000 votes in Montgomery County. Joe Biden has an advantage among those voters. However, across the state, all the rest of the voters, when you get outside of Philadelphia County and Montgomery County, they stand beside and they support President Trump. So his margin is so great there that we're carrying the state of Pennsylvania. But
Yes.
there are some ballots that still have to be counted, as you know. There are many outstanding ballots in places like York County, Butler County, and Blair County, where President Trump dominates. The Trump campaign is seeing overperformance throughout the state of Pennsylvania.
Good, good.
Based upon our statistical team, we have a 70% probability, as of this morning and late last night, that our vote margin will exceed 100,000 votes for President Trump. But we do realize that could fluctuate a little bit between today and tomorrow. We also have a 50% probability that our vote margin will exceed 150,000 votes for President Trump. Now, you put those together, that's a great statistical analysis.
Yes, absolutely. We are completely confident. Now let's go to Arizona. The Trump campaign is highly confident that we are going to win Arizona. The current margin in Arizona is over 94,000 votes for Joe Biden. However, we project that there are over 600,000 outstanding ballots still out in the state of Arizona. These are primarily election day voters who support President Trump. President Trump only needs to win 58% of the remaining ballots to win the state of Arizona. President Trump has earned approximately 62% of election day ballots in Maricopa County. This percentage is even higher outside of Maricopa County. And we call upon Fox News and the Associated Press to withdraw their claims that Joe Biden has won the state of Arizona. We are confident that President Trump will win North Carolina and Georgia. And as soon as Friday, we expect that President Trump will be clearly reelected for another 4 years. President Trump and his campaign are fighting to ensure the integrity of this election and the integrity of the votes cast by the American people.
That's very impressive. I really like that data. Now, the Trump campaign issued a statement that I'd like to briefly read. I'm not going to read the whole statement. I'm going to just concentrate on select issues. It says, Pennsylvanians are unhinged. The radical left Secretary of State has tried her hardest to break down the back door to victory for Joe Biden with late illegal ballots. Okay. In addition to the Trump campaign's motion to intervene in Pennsylvania, the Trump campaign is taking 2 additional critical legal actions to ensure the integrity of Pennsylvania's elections. They are suing to stop Democratic election officials from hiding the ballot counting and processing from Republican poll observers. I don't know if you had the chance to look at the media today, but I was looking at Fox, and up until a couple of minutes ago, as I understand, the people who were observing, and I've observed elections before in the past, and normally we get to be right at the table as ballots are looked at for their postmarks and signature verification. Well, the observers from the Trump campaign were relegated to being 100 feet from the observation table, and they had to use binoculars, and they went to court to get changes on that. So the eyes of the country are now on Pennsylvania to make sure that our observers from the Trump campaign have the opportunity to examine the ballots, to more or less audit the ballots, with the teams that are counting the votes there in the states. The Trump campaign is doing a lot. And with these key actions, I have to say, President Trump is telling all Americans he will do whatever it takes to ensure the integrity of this election for the good of the nation. And that's a statement from Justin Trump, 2020 Deputy Campaign Manager. They have muddled it a little bit, but that's what it says, basically, Ava.
Yes, and as of this morning on Fox News, we saw your friend, Michelle Pambiondi, who is standing in front of voting headquarters with a court order to enter. So this is all very, very good news for us. Now on to Nevada. This is what I think is going to be our pathway to victory. First of all, we have late-breaking mail-in votes that are going to help. And we believe that once all legal ballots are counted, we will win by over 5,500 votes. But we are very concerned about corruption in Nevada.
As we see, Ava. Now,
yes, as we should be.
Yeah, okay. Well, you and I both know what's happened in the past there in Nevada. And I think,
it wouldn't be a surprise, would it?
No, definitely not, especially when Mr. Axel has warned against the corruption there in the state. Now, I'd like to turn a little bit to Georgia now, Ava. This is our pathway to victory in Georgia. President Trump has built an insurmountable lead that the Democrats cannot beat. We lead in the state of Georgia by over 100,000 votes.
Now on to North Carolina, Michelle. This is our pathway to victory in North Carolina. President Trump has built an insurmountable lead that the Democrats cannot possibly beat. We lead by over 80,000 votes.
Wow, that is significant. Now, Ava, I'm going to turn a little bit to your home state. Okay, I'm going to look at the pathway to victory in the state of Wisconsin. We all know that this is a very tight race, within 1%, and the campaign has already asked for a recount, and the state has agreed. You might recall that in 2016, the margin was equally tight, and Hillary Clinton asked for a recount as well.
That's why Wisconsin is called a battleground state. It is a razor-thin margin right now. The state has agreed to the recount, so let's keep optimistic because we just might be able to pull this off.
Well, you are the expert on Wisconsin, Ava. We put our trust in you.
Yes, well, we're going to hope for the best here. So let's move on, Michelle, to Michigan. Outlying Republican counties still have ballots to be counted, and we are waiting. Day by day, hour by hour, those ballots are being counted and reporting. So let's keep optimistic about Michigan. Nothing is over until it's finally over. And as you know, Michelle, this may all end up in the courts. It won't be the first time, but it may all end up in the courts. Maybe even the Supreme Court. So let's stay optimistic. Let's not think that this is over for us because it very well may be a late win.
Thank you, Ava. Audience, there you have it from Ava. That is our update on the election for today. And oh my goodness, audience, you just have to see how beautiful she is. She is our star.
Oh.
So, President Trump is still fighting for you and our country. If you have any comments for us, please send us an email to mogul, spelled M-O-G-U-L, at PolishAmericans4Trump.org. We sure would love to hear from you, and thank you.
Our wonderful audience, we want to thank you for taking the time to listen to us on this fantastic radio station, WPNA Radio 1490 out of Chicago, which reaches so many of you across the country via internet. We hold you very dear and very close to our hearts, and we have been very glad to share our thoughts and our ideas with you for why Donald J. Trump should be president for another 4 years. He's done so much for Polish people here and abroad. Please always remember that.
You are so correct. We want to remind our audience that we expect to have one more show, which will be our closing show for the Polish Americans for Trump Show 2020 on Friday. Just to let you know, we will be coming back under a new format.
Yes, we've had so many positive comments from our listeners and our viewers. The election really has come to an end. However, we have not come to an end. We plan to continue to bring you ideas and fascinating events that are going to be relevant to Polish Americans throughout the United States. So we are going to come back under a new, fresh format, and we have some fantastic ideas to unveil. It's going to be great fun for everyone. And I want to personally thank WPNA Radio management and staff for giving us this great opportunity to ride the airways and connect with you. It has been really our honor to share time and our ideas with you and to relate our point of view of why it is so very important to elect Donald J. Trump for president.
Yes. And if you come back, you'll get a chance to see our wonderful, wonderful, beautiful co-host, Ava. It's been a pleasure for me to work with you every day, Ava.
Thank you.
I
Likewise.
want to thank you for giving the special appreciation message to our audience out there and the staff of WPNA Radio. We love you all, and I want to thank you again for the opportunity. Dziękuję bardzo from Michelle.
And here is to tomorrow, which is going to be a Good News Friday. And as we say in Polish, dziękuję bardzo I do następnego razu.